This morning, I am like a little bit, when you get so tired, your brain feels like it's burning. That's where I am this morning. And it's one of those things where when you've gone without rest, uh, there's no catching up. You might think, oh, a nap, and then I'll be okay. And then if you actually ever let yourself crash, which I did yesterday evening, getting up, and I'm not someone that has any trouble getting up. My physical body was like, you're not moving. So if you are feeling that kind of fatigue, and I do believe also the pressure of the energy that's flowing around in the outside in the world, think of the heaviness, think of the horror, the dread that is trying to basically make your interior energy match what's happening in the world. And I certainly have drawn, I can feel that my voice is lower. So that means I have really drawn on whatever reserves I have to keep myself kind of upright and going forward. And then this morning, I got a message that really felt like a loss, and and it felt like a lot of things at once. I'm sure that we all have these times of overwhelm where it just feels like there are too many balls in the air, and I can't take one more thing. There's a scene in the movie Clue, and Martin Mull, who plays Colonel Mustard, says, I just can't take any more scares. And then right behind him, the gigantic chandelier in the huge great room smashes into, a bajillion pieces behind him. And he holds his heart like he might fall over. And that's kind of like what the pressure outside feels like for me. Um, it feels like I'm being pulled so tight that like one more thing, I'm not sure that I have the capacity. But what I will offer, and that what I can also feel, is as I feel my way around these edges, they are sharp, and I am definitely getting nicked and cut. Um, I'm also seeing where my resiliency is, and I guess it's both resiliency and endurance because things will not be like this all the time. And also, what I choose to bring through, I am not going to nurture the dread. I am not going to nurture uh, the the burning feeling in my brain. What I am going to nurture is a mental picture of something soft and warm, or even something cool like a stream or whatever it takes for me to go to a place where, yes, this is my physical condition. That's how I feel. Like that's, I'm not suppressing it. I'm not trying to will myself out of it, but mentally, I don't have to stay in that place. I can make a new home for me in my head, if that makes sense. I can give myself a place to rest myself, because what's happening with these sharp edges that are causing little nicks and cuts is that I am in the act of increasing my capacity. And each one of these things, you can look at it as a test, or really just, it's pulling at the elastic of you, because we are human and there is an endless amount of things going on, both in our personal lives and in the world. So, what I invite you to do today, there's a couple of things. First of all, anytime you can get quiet and breathe and plant your feet on the floor, barefoot ideally, but just plant your feet on the floor, you're going to kind of get at least a little more grounded. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, let your mind have like a little like fantasy time. Like do your version of, if I could be anywhere in the world, if I could be with anyone in the world, what would I want? And give yourself like a good 5 minutes of like whatever pleasurable thing comes up for you. And let your mind wander into that place and maybe rest there for a moment. Listen, everything's going to be waiting for you when you return. So I'm going to see what my schedule allows to spend a little time there today. And that's what's come up for me today, is like the beauty of the world and the horror of the world, and how you can hold both simultaneously. We have the strength to do that. And I will see you tomorrow.